All right, so a couple of days ago, EA had released their newest trailer for their newest Madden, whatever it's going to be called. I think it's going to be called Madden 18, and it's going to have Tom Brady as the cover player for that specific game.
Hey, come on now, fellas! We've got to answer the bell. Now let's go!
Best in the business.
Let's go!
Now, if Tom Brady,
Let's go!
the greatest football player of all time, the GOAT, the GOAT. If he cannot solve the problems that I have with the game, I don't know who will. Now, I know that he won't be directly involved with the development of the game. I'm just saying that he has this air of greatness that will not be denied.
Let's
now,
go!
The game does offer some features that are very intriguing. I think I will always say this in the sense that with annual releases, there will always be some add-ons that happen every year, which in 5 years is a cumulative addition, or it adds on, a significant addition to the game in 5 years, in that cumulative of 5 years. I think we're at the 5th year. I think that for starters, we get target passing with the quarterback situation. Instead of having to pass it to receivers, you now actually apparently get to pick where you want to fire the football and when you want to fire it. So maybe, you have a receiver in one-on-one coverage and you like the matchup, but he's not necessarily open and he can create distance. He can get those 50-50 footballs because he's that type of receiver, like a Des Bryant, for example. You have different modes. I think you have actually 3 modes, and this is what I think you do have 3 modes. You have the arcade mode, which is kind of goofy. I don't think it has penalties. You have the regular mode, then you have competitive mode. I think this is what all sports games need, because for me, sports games mechanically, they seem a little bit clunky to me, and it's like that clunkiness doesn't really transfer over into competitive modes, which I personally feel like if 2K and EA, they want to make these sports games competitive, they have to take out the clunkiness that happens with the game. And I feel like EA at least is trying to moderate that in the degree, of them having an arcade mode. So at least the clunkiness is kind of like overruled by the fun aspect that you would have with the game. There's also the competitive mode. If your game isn't running mechanically, if your game isn't mechanically sound, if it doesn't have good mechanics, then you can't expect me as the player to be able to say, you know what, your game is really great because it has a really cool arcade mode, but the competitiveness, the reason why most people are going to be staying around, is terrible because of the mechanically schizophrenic gameplay that you have with not even the competitive mode, but just with the regular gameplay. So I do think EA does or is moving into the right direction, and that is kind of supplementing the clunkiness of their game and the clunkiness of their mechanics with variation.
Let's go!
The game also has a new engine, and some people are also excited about the story mode. I'm not. I think the new engine will help make the game look a lot better. Maybe you can do a lot more with the new engine. I think it is using the Frostbite engine. I know it's using the Frostbite engine, I just don't know what engine that they used formerly. Now, all of this matters to me. All of this matters in the sense that these are actual improvements to the game that we haven't really seen in the past couple of years. I mean, if you look at pretty much from Madden, 2013 to 2017, and yes, I do keep up with these games, so that way I can kind of garner and see if there's any real change to warrant a purchase. I think that there is some information here or some gameplay details that do warrant a purchase. Now, EA does, or usually does, have the first day at E3. I'm very interested to see what they have, not only for the new Madden game, but also for the new Star Wars Battlefront 2 game that I'm very excited for. But I think this does deserve a purchase. I think that, or at least for me, so that way I can, report on it and talk about the new Madden game. But it's like I have my problems with the series as a whole, and until I see actual gameplay and until I myself play the game, I can't necessarily say whether or not this game will be a good game, especially only going off of like 2 minutes of gameplay and a couple of articles and a couple of other people that have also researched into this, and looking at their website and seeing what type of modes that the actual game has and can garner. This has been 24. Remember to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe for more. I'm very interested to see what EA has to offer when it comes to both, Madden and Battlefront. I think depending on whether or not these two games are successful or not, I think that kind of determines what EA will do in the future, because if people aren't buying these games, then EA will be like, well, wait a minute, we kind of went out on a limb here and tried to do new things with Madden and new things with Battlefront, and people aren't buying our game. Well, EA, your games suck because you release them annually, which gives you no time to develop them. That's why your games suck, not because you try new things. But that's another topic for another video. Until then, have a fantastic day. I'll see you next time.